Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Becky, and I am going to tell you 10 common phrases that I have heard over my 30 years plus career of helping people. One is, I just wish my loved one would open up and communicate with me. This phrase reflects the dream client's desire for improved communication and connection with their loved one. They long for their loved one to share their thoughts and feelings openly and honestly. I mean, I know I'm not the only one who can tell when people are not being honest. I mean, most of the time we just let them slide because we're like, well, they don't really want to tell me that, then that's fine. I'll just let it go. But I mean, what's the point of changing that detail when I have discernment and I have spiritual gifts that let me know that you're not being honest right now. And all that does is erode trust, right? So, number two, I feel like I'm constantly at odds with my loved one. I talked about it in another video. It's just power struggles are just a natural part of being alive. We're all trying to get our needs and wants met. Doesn't make really anybody a narcissist or anybody an empath. It truly means in one situation, I can look narcissistic if I'm trying to advocate and stand up against myself against a bully. But I can look like a super empath when I am helping, an elderly 100-year-old gentleman who is at his end of life take his last few breaths. So how somebody views us, it's we don't want to be constantly at odds, and we all shift and change throughout the day. So we have to leave room for grace. So this phrase highlights that the dream client has frustration and that there's conflict in their relationships with their loved ones, which no one enjoys that. So they're seeking a solution to reduce the tension and improve the overall dynamics within the relationship and if they live together within the household. Number three, I want my loved one to feel heard and understood. And I know myself, I have parents that grew up in a different age in time and had different traumas. And so then here they are having to parent a neurodivergent child, and then they didn't know how to do that, and so they made a lot of mistakes in their parenting of me, which then caused a lot more trauma, and so we want to be aware that we want everybody to be felt, heard, seen, and understood. This phrase demonstrates the dream client's desire for their loved one to have the acknowledgement. They want their loved one to know that their voice matters and that their needs and wants are important. Now, I was born with two narcissistic parents who could only focus on their own needs. And so then children were to be seen and not heard. They were to be pawns. They were supposed to go find something to do out of sight, out of mind, let the adults be adults. And so I understand how difficult it is when you were raised one way, but then you have to unlearn those unhealthy ways of parenting and then have to teach yourself in the moment new ways. And so that's why I get to partner up with you and help you out. Number four, I worry about my loved one's future, right? Their voice does matter. And this goes even for nonverbal. So like my nephew, who is a nonverbal autistic young man, that he has one of the talkers, so it is a digital device that he can push buttons, but he's also learning how to use his own voice because the vibrations of the voice are important. And so we're very proud of him for not just relying on the technology, but utilizing the technology that God gave us. This phrase showcases that the dream client's concern for their loved one to navigate adulthood as independently as possible. This phrase also showcases the dream client's concern for the loved one to have proper development and readiness for adulthood. They want their loved one to be equipped with the necessary communication skills and the mindset to thrive in life. And I think that's true for most parents. Even if we make a lot of mistakes or if we were perfect, we always want better for our children. One thing that I always told my kids is please learn from my mistakes, learn from your grandparents' mistakes, learn from your great-grandparents' mistakes, and all I ask is that you don't repeat any of them, and you just be content understanding you're going to make your own mistakes, and that's okay. Number 5, I want a peaceful and harmonious home environment. This phrase reflects the dream client's aspiration for a calm and positive atmosphere within the family. They seek to reduce conflict and create a space where everyone feels safe and supported. That's not easy to do when you yourself can be, like a lava lamp of emotions going on inside. But as a single parent, or as a leader of, your team, that you are responsible for these other lives, and then they have lives that are dependent on them. And so that puts, a much more stressful perspective on things sometimes. Number 6, I want to strengthen the bond between me and my loved one. This phrase highlights that the dream client's desire for a deeper connection with their loved one. They long for a relationship built on trust, understanding, and mutual respect. Now, I can honestly say, as much as I tried, I was not able to successfully have healthy relationships with my parents, and I had to establish very strong boundaries in order for me to remain safe, because they had their own struggles and difficulties and things that they needed to have addressed with professionals and other staff and other people to support them, but it was not safe for me to always be around my parents. So that can be emotionally difficult when you are in a leadership role, when you have to delegate your caregiver role to loved ones because you are their trigger. And it's not even anything specifically about you, it's just for them and their emotional state. They get upset with seeing you. I think for me, and for some other caregivers, it's hard when your elderly parents are, deteriorating in front of us, and then they see you full of life and vitality, and that can cause problems. So sometimes absence is respect. Number 7, I want to be a supportive and an effective leader. This phrase showcases the dream client's commitment to being the best parent or leader that they can be. They strive to provide guidance, love, and understanding to their loved ones or their staff, while also setting appropriate boundaries and discipline. Those of us that are in leadership positions, God has a special place for us, but that also requires us to take up more responsibility for the people that we are leading, and we need to make sure that we're leading them in the way that God truly wants us to lead, and not the way our ego is wanting us to lead. And sometimes it can take a lot of reflection and self-awareness to make sure that when people are listening to you, that you are giving them the best information that's out there. Number 8, I feel it is important to have open and honest communication with my loved one. So this is key for the people that want to work with me. If you want to manipulate, if you want to play games, if you want to shuffle blame, if you want to point fingers, none of that's going to work with me. And I'm going to say there are plenty of other people out there that would gladly take your money and play the game with you the way you're wanting to play the game. I'm here to say that I have just survived half a century of being in a war zone, energetically, psychologically, psychically, spiritually, financially, and I just got through that war zone, and I'm not interested in playing games at this point. I'm interested in helping the fellow light workers that are still out there feeling lost and alone and not sure what to do next. I'm here for you guys, and not the after party. I know that the light is already won, but there are still people, and my military mindset is no man left behind. So I'm not going to celebrate just because I've made it, to accomplish the things that I need to. Then I'm also going to reach back and I'm going to help other people to accomplish the things that they need to, because when I rise, we rise. And that goes for each family, each person. We all are part of the collective. And so we're only as strong as our weakest link. So Number 9, I feel frustrated and desire for a peaceful life. Through our coaching sessions, we will explore effective strategies to reduce conflict and to improve the overall and dynamic between you and your loved ones, or you and your team. We will work on equipping your loved one with the necessary, and yourself with the necessary skills and the mindset to navigate the challenges of adulthood successfully. I mean, even myself, it can be a little challenging because at this point, I have been waiting to meet my divine counterpart. And so I'm doing this on my own at this point. And so it can be real easy to, become frustrated. And that's why I said some of this will be helpful for me too, because iron sharpens iron. And you're going to keep me going while I help you keep going. Number 10, I long for the day when my loved one will feel comfortable enough to share their joys, fears, and everything in between. I know you don't want to, have heated arguments, but being patient like a saint probably isn't working either. And so the only true repentance and atonement is changed behavior. And if we want to change behavior, then we have to change the thinking patterns. And that requires rewiring some brain chemistry. And that's what I'm here for. So go ahead and schedule your free consultation with me at homans.consulting@gmail.com so we can talk about your current situation and how I can help. All right. I envision a future where all interactions are filled with understanding and empathy, where conflicts are resolved with love and respect. With a hopeful heart, I guide parents and leaders to resolve conflicts with love and respect. Now, that doesn't mean I let everybody walk all over everybody. I do have harsh boundaries. So I am one that is a run a tight ship, and I even do it with my own kids. So it's like, if you're not pulling your weight, I will have you walk the plank. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's the way I work. I guide parents and leaders, like I said, to try to resolve those conflicts with love and respect, but with firm boundaries and with truth. I help you achieve your goals of building or repairing trust and establishing and maintaining open communication. Those are my key things. Every living thing has unique needs, and I'm here to help you to look more closely at your own situation and reflect on your own inward belief systems to see what needs to go and what can stay and what you can learn from me that's going to be absorbed into helping alchemize your situation and moving you forward into a healthier direction. Because I want to be able to strategize with you the out-of-the-box solutions to your immediate communication situations. A lot of the agencies and the systems, you've got waiting lines, and even when you get the waiting lines, you get repeated, scriptings, or you get, the shuffle around, well, you need to go see that specialist. So I'm going to sit there and I'm going to strategize with you, and then I will do meditations and prayers, and I will then continue. And I can go over more of that when you go ahead and talk with me in the free consultation. I really do want to coach you on how to create a safe and nurturing environment to facilitate true behavioral change that reduces the chances for regression. Because as we all know, when it comes to skill development, we lose what we don't use. And so I am here to keep you motivated in the right direction. And then these videos are always here. So any of these messages, you're able to go ahead and listen to them as many times as you need. All right, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this video so we can get the message out and the content can reach a wider audience. And I look forward to talking with you in my next video. Have a great day.